Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night on Telling Tales, and that means Symbaroum. You know it does. You definitely should have had that battered into your frontal cortex by now. After, God, maybe 3 years of this shit. Nearly 3 years, I think. So isn't that a fun anniversary that definitely means something in the current incredibly optimistic geopolitical state. But enough of that. Let's move on forwards with some nonsense blurb stuff. If you check below this stream, whether you're on YouTube or on Twitch, you should be able to find a number of interesting links. Links to our Discord, our Patreon, our merch store, our social media, the various sites where you can find us, all that nonsense. You may also be fascinated to learn that we run a number of weekly shows here on those sites. Obviously, Wednesdays is Symbaroum. Mondays is currently alternating between We Deal in Lead and Warhammer, but there are the finales of both of those series coming up. And following that, at the end of July, we'll be starting a new long-form Call of Cthulhu campaign that Johnny is running. It is the notorious Masks of Nyarlathotep. And everyone's very excited and settled in for the long haul. And long haul is the kind of phrase of the year on Telling Tales, because there's another long form campaign that's really only just started, that's running fortnightly on Thursdays. That's the Yellow King, more cosmic horror. Seems like it's something we enjoy. And I'm running that, and the third episode is tomorrow. Wonderful. So get your 1895 reality warping Parisian horror on and join us then. We also run one-shots on a more or less monthly basis. Less, more than more, yes, at the moment, but still, they do exist. We have coming up on, I believe, the 20th. He pondered. Should know, I'm running it. The 20th of July, we have a second installment of Cyborg approaching. So that should be fun. It's one of the most popular videos we've ever done. We don't know why. And our response to that ignorance was to not touch it again for ages. Because you don't want to be going back to something popular. Who knows what might happen? We might get some kind of traction and kind of, go viral or something. God, that sounds like a nightmare. So join us for more Cyborg, 20th of July. And let's start bringing on the players. We're down a couple of players tonight, at least at the moment. We'll be joined by one more soon. But let's bring on the players we do have. And then we can start playing. Let's start with Stephen today. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Oh, that's definitely not the background I want.
I mean, it's foresty.
It is.
It's insufficiently brooding. That's better.
Yeah, that's better. That's more brooding. Hi, Stephen. Stephen plays Elindra, former Templar novice turned sellsword and fervent warrior of the crew. Stephen, give us the top level lowdown, and that's not a contradiction in terms, on what's Bred in the Bone, our current series. What's going on?
There is all manner of stuff kicking off, as is traditional. We're in a town called Ravenia in the east of Ambria. We didn't turn up to do this, but what we are doing now that we have arrived is investigating a string of murders that have happened recently. There was the first Theurg Armanda, followed by another Theurg, Father Lombardo, followed by a barbarian witch by the name of Yama. Armando was burst from the inside via sorcery, and the other two were essentially burned in their houses. And we've been trying to unravel what's been going on. So we think that Armanda had some beef with various barbarian clans, and had sent, for want of a better word, kind of inquisitions to go and deal with those. and was killed as a result. And then we think the other two killings kind of happened, like sort of in retribution for that, but certainly the church like reasserting its dominance in a particularly violent way, because Father Abardo and Yama were both interested in the chapel of the young gods, the local temple of the many. So we kind of investigated all that, found ourselves in the chapel of young gods. Were attacked by a number of black cloaks. We killed all but two of them, who we handed into the authorities as people that we know had committed murders, and we suspected committed some of the ones that we were investigating. And then found out quite soon afterwards that the Duke had gone missing, perhaps kidnapped, we think, some kind of foul play. And I think last session we were kind of on his trail. We think we tracked him to an old Symbaroum building just outside of town, where we are on the brink of being jumped by yet more black cloaks. I think that
sounds about right. So let's bring on our next player, and it's Chris. Look at him. It's Chris. Chris plays Theo, former infantryman and city guard turned sellsword, as they all are, but sellsword with a heart of gold, an aging, withered heart of gold, but still, it's still there. Chris, how's Theo feeling in this fresh theological and political hell you found yourselves in Ravenna?
Yeah, Steve's kind of happy that he doesn't specifically need to worry about whether he did the right or wrong thing by letting the witch Yarma just teleport out of the dungeon, given that she seemed to be a proud sinner, having admitted to a fairly brutal murder. Yeah, not my pay grade anymore, is it?
Not really. I would mention that Yarma is definitely not the witch you met under the chapel, because Yarma got burned alive.
Okay.
It's Algaia you're looking for.
Algaia, that's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's bring on our final player for now, but not for the night. Is John. Hello, John. John plays Sir Arendar, duelist, last member of the noble house of Dar, proud cat owner. And more. John, what's Arendar's take on all this nonsense?
That it's confusing and wide-reaching, and that clearly someone needs to figure out what's going on. Someone.
Not you.
Not Aaron. No.
No. Aaron just kind of goes with the flow. Aaron's the resident himbo.
Aaron's main success format is to find the smartest person that he thinks he can trust and just do whatever they tell him to do without questioning it.
Absolutely. So we will be joined later by Sam, who plays Asker. Will join us. No Mike tonight, or probably for the foreseeable future, but we will keep you updated on these matters. But yeah, we should have Sam imminently, but not right now. So, but with that in mind, we're about to start a combat. And we'll be absolutely fine as long as Asker doesn't have to go first. Can you bring up the initiative order, please, John? Oh, no. Okay. So someone is going to have to take Anton, and someone's going to have to take Asker. I would suggest Stephen and Chris do the honors, because Stephen normally has Revelia, but Revelia is not with the party right now. So who wants to take Asker? Who wants to run Asker first? Who wants to take the best fighter in the party?
It's a big responsibility, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got the character sheet there. So
I do. I don't know how it all works, but we'll figure that out, right?
We'll figure it out. He only ever does two things. So, just to recap exactly where you are, you're in these ruins where you have, via odd means, basically of following a raven, you have arrived at these ruins which seem to be inhabited by the members of the Whip of Prios. Infiltrators is a very strong word for that you ran into the ruin together. But you entered into the ruin and were confronted by the Whip of Prios, who immediately called you apostates and said that they were going to kill you. So that's pretty much that. Just to lay out in your heads how the geography of the place is. So you've got kind of like one large central chamber. And that central chamber has a hole both in its like ceiling, which used to be like a first floor, and in the ground as well. And there are a couple of smaller, more rubble-strewn chambers off to the left and right. You yourselves have kind of split up to enter. Elindra and Anton have entered into this central chamber. Steo and Ascarai have come in round the left, and Aaron and Ferren have come in round the right. In terms of the enemy layout, there is a very large black-clad former Templar kind of above and behind you on that first floor, and there is. I'm going to use the name again. Don't be confused into thinking they're really separate things, but I'm going to use the naming convention of Twilight Friars are the ones who look like higher ups, and the Black Cloaks are like the grunts. I'll use that naming convention again, even though that they're kind of the same thing. There is a Twilight Friar kind of opposite you on the other side above. There is another Twilight Friar accompanying the Sun Priest who's emerged from the hole in the center of the room. And you will now also become aware of a scrabbling noise as another, like a black cloak basically enters both side chambers to face off with the people immediately in there. And that's kind of the layout of it. With that in mind, Stephen, it's up to you what you do with Ascarai. Ascarai is currently unengaged, and he can definitely shoot at the black cloak that's just entered the room with you. Or if he wants to shoot at anyone in that central room, because it's like a slightly rubble-strewn archway that doesn't really give a good view where you are right now in there, he'd have to move in and then he could fire. And currently, no one is engaged. And that I think if he entered that central chamber, there's no one between. He could shoot anyone in that central chamber. So it's up to you. It's worth noting that he can't. I believe he can't do his triple double shot if he moves. I think that's correct.
Yeah, and he's with Anton, right?
No, he's with
Steo.
He's with Steo in the left. Yeah.
Okay. So I think Ascarai is going to realize how tricky the Black Cloaks have been to deal with in melee combat.
Mm-hmm.
And so is going to want to deal with the one right in front of him
just
first, so that they can then move through to the main chamber.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's a rapid fire on the Black Cloak, right? So that's 2 attacks. And does he do the thing? Does he do a thing where he like rolls each
Hunter's
thing
Mark.
twice?
Yeah, he gets Hunter's Mark, so he can pick a target, and then he gets a re-roll when trying to hit them, right?
A reroll and a bit of extra damage. But
Yeah.
I think it's only 1 reroll per turn.
I think it's 1 re-roll per turn as well.
Okay.
We'll get to the damage in a second, because that, we'll see if we need that.
Let's just see what hits.
Yeah.
So he hits with the first shot. Do we want to roll for the second, or do we do damage first? Let's do damage first.
Do you want the modifier?
Oh yeah. Well, it's quite a good roll, but sure.
Sure. But still, best to
yeah.
It's at -4.
Yes, that's still a success. Yeah, we need a 12 at -4 and I rolled a 9. So,
Okay, so the damage, because this is a rapid shot, not the armor penetrating one. So obviously we'll have to account for armor. But
I've got D10 plus 1 for the composite bow.
Yeah,
like,
and then he has the hunter's mark, which I think
I don't have that on the character sheet.
it should. It's not. I don't think it's called that. It's called.
I've got hunter's instincts, but it doesn't say what it does.
Oh yeah, hunter's instinct. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, I might need to look that up unless you know off the top of your head what it does.
I think it's in the advanced player's guide,
right?
Because I think it's the like.
It's on page 66 or 67, depending on how you're searching for it.
Hunter's
Sure.
instincts, which she's got at adept. Plus 1d4 damage. There we go. So it's D10 plus D4 plus 1.
Although I believe he also has beast law for cultural beings.
He does. He does have that.
And I think that'll be another D4. I could be wrong. What level of beast law does he have?
Adept, which is plus 1d4. Okay, so D10 plus 2d4 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. 12.
12. Yeah, okay. So the black cloak basically dashes into the room and like reaches under their cloak to kind of whip out their rapier and then reels back with an arrow through the eye and crashes to the ground dead.
Cool.
That was
So
nice.
that second rapid fire shot's not going to be needed.
No.
Ascarite, I guess, then could move, but I don't know. Is that going to put him? It's going to put him a bit front and center, isn't it?
Can he do the second roll on someone else?
Oh, I suppose, yeah. If
he can, but I've already said you can't fire on anyone from the room you're in.
Never mind that.
Also, the rapid fire thing it's an action. So I would say if you said I'm doing rapid fire, then you have already
definitely not moving. Okay, and that's fair. I think even if Ascarite could move in the situation, he would choose not to. But not being able to is the same.
That's fair. 1 second, but you can keep on talking, but I need to slightly close the window or I'm about to get rained on. So, but carry on talking. It's all good.
Fair enough.
How does it feel to be in charge of the glass cannon?
It's far more complicated than Sam makes it look. That's what I'm learning.
It's just werewolf dice at the end of the day. It's just pick a handful of D10s and roll them. Let God sort them out.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's probably Ascarite's turn then.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Let's go with the Twilight Friars then, who are probably... one of them is going to... They don't have acrobatics or anything like that, do they? They do not. So I'm going to say that one of the Twilight Friars is going to take their action to kind of like... they're not going to leap down. They're going to climb down a bit more carefully. They're kind of like going to drop and hang off the that upper floor and then drop down. So they're just kind of like stood there, probably unengaged. Or do they want to just run and engage with someone? I think they will. They're going to dash over and engage with Anton. So I'm going to say that that's what they do in that room. And then I'm going to say that the other Twilight Friar is going to also dash towards Anton and is going to try and hit him. So with that in mind, if Chris is running Anton, Chris, could you make a defense roll for him at a -5, please?
I think that's a pass, but I just have to quickly check the notes.
It probably is. I should imagine. I don't know what his defense is.
Probably is. Oh, where did I put the character sheet? I literally. Oh, there it is. Defense is down here. His defense is 7. So that's a fail.
No, it's just a success.
No, it's
isn't
not.
it?
It's just a success. Holy crap.
Yeah, there we go.
I never realized his defense was so low.
This is why when he gets hit, he gets absolutely twatted.
Oh, this is why he always
Explains
puts
a lot.
Blessed Shield on.
Yes. And speaking of which, something I forgot to mention is as part of my things, regular viewers may know that I have a predilection for trying to escalate the danger in various encounters, because I tend to find that our group is maybe a bit overpowered for stuff as we go through. And one of the things I gave these enemies is as you all like dashed up to I can imagine that the rain is very audible. As you all kind of dashed up to the attack and they started coming towards you, I gave the Sun Priest a little special action that they could do before the combat started, which was to cast Blessed Shield. So that familiar, warm, twinkling kind of like sundog glow is enveloping them. It's enveloping the Black Templar, and it's enveloping one of the Twilight Friars by Anton. So
That's cheating.
Just so you know. Game's gonna cheat. I don't know what to tell you. But still, they attacked Anton and didn't do shit. So there we go. It sounds like it's Alindra's turn.
It does. Okay, so Alindra's in the main chamber, and there is there's a Twilight Friar and a Sun Priest down at this level. Is that right?
Well, how it looks now is Anton is currently battling 2 Twilight Friars, and there is a Sun Priest further over from you, and there is the Templar above you. And I will give you this for free. They look like they're about to leap down on you. So it's up to you whether you want to do something or like, don't forget you can delay.
Yeah. If he looks like he's gonna jump down this round, I think I'm gonna defer. I'm gonna wait. Like much as I want to try and help Anton, I think that Black Templar looks like he's
I feel it's only right I cut this one early because we've done this in every session that she's appeared in. The Templar is a woman. Okay. People have referred to her as he every time, so I'll just remind people early there.
Cool. Yeah. So Alindra's going to defer.
No problem. Well, you tell us when you want to undefer yourself. Farron. Facing off against one of those tricksy black cloaks with Arendar.
Yeah, I don't suppose there's 2 standing next to each other, are there?
It's monsoon season here. What do you mean, sorry?
So, you know what? Farron wouldn't think about that, so it doesn't matter. Yes, Farron is going to go for one of the black cloaks because he may have developed a taste.
Okay. That's fair enough. When you say one of the black cloaks, do you mean the black cloak that I mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. The one in the chamber with you?
Yes.
Yes. Which is the only person in the chamber with you? Yes. Okay. Nightmare cat. Okay. Can you make an attack for Farron, please, at a -4?
Can, as soon as I remember where his stats are. There they are. -4 accurate. Ooh, target of 7. That's not great. But he hits it.
Okay.
With a 6.
With a 6. And what's the damage?
Roll a d8. 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay.
And if it draws blood, then he gets 2 poison for 2 turns.
It does draw blood. Farron leaps up and snaps at the black cloak, and the black cloak reels away, kind of part of his glove torn away. It doesn't look like it's not a big bite, but it's definitely a bite, and he's already kind of like flexing his hand as kind of the numbness starts to take hold. I'm going to have to take a second away now because it's apparently monsoon season. I don't know whether that's why the cat is. Look at where the cat is. Look at that cat.
Oh, wow.
Look at that cat. The cat will have to go out of the room, I fear, because the cat is not calming down. So I will be back very shortly. Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone's like, "Oh, don't, oh, you don't have to live with him." You hear that?
Oh,
Poor baby.
perfect, blameless baby angel.
I have. Does disengaging count as a move?
Yes.
I can't. Yeah, I can't imagine how you could disengage without moving because you have to physically get away from someone, right?
Yeah.
Like unless you
Yeah.
It strikes me that Steo's build is just always just a little bit not good enough for the situations I'm in. Like all these great crowd control capabilities, and I go like at the last third of the group in all circumstances. So all the places where my crowd control would have been useful are now past.
Can you bump yourself up the initiative order by spending XP? Is that a ridiculous waste of XP?
I think I honestly like controversial opinion, but I think exceptional attribute is a massive waste of skill points of XP in Symbaroum.
I think it can be. I think it kind of depends where you are.
Because it's really got a hits. Yeah, it's almost as bad as in D&D. Like a flat D&D 3.5, a flat attribute increase of +1 is meaningless unless it takes you over the threshold to increase your modifier.
Yeah.
It's less bad than that, but it's still pretty terrible. Like it's a 1 in 20th. It's a 5% swing.
Counter argument is that this session I've got Sam's character sheet for the first time, and he's got Vigilance 16, which he uses for attacking. Like that 5% swing when it's something you're doing it every round of combat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's usually doing it multiple times per round of combat as well.
Well, exactly, yeah, like twice per round.
Yeah, because not only has he got the rapid shot, but also because his other ability ignores armor, that gives him a really high chance of getting over the pain threshold, which means he usually gets a second shot there anyway. So
yeah, I think that's how you do exceptional attribute. You do it like Sam does it.
Quite possibly. For anyone interested, I have discovered why the cat has gone crazy. And other cat owners will be familiar with this phrase. Most of the people will be appalled by it, but it is a clear-cut case of Puphoria. So there we go. Moving on. Arindar.
I just had a question while you were away. That disengaging counts as a movement, doesn't it?
It does. Well, you were going to dash in with Baron and disengage so that the black cloak doesn't make you kill him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems fair. Yeah. But you can't because he's already been.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I'm going to stall for time.
Is it not a valid tactic for you given your like response? I mean, that's the thing. They could also use your response attack to attack because it's just one per round. It doesn't say it has to happen in their turn.
Yeah.
It's a reaction, so.
The poor meow meow. It's not a good night for cats.
It's not a good night for cats.
It's a pretty good night for cats. My cat had a poo.
My cat can't do that right now. That doesn't help.
Someone please clip that for the archives. Thank you.
I'm just going to remind myself how much toughness Farron has. I don't want to hit my cat.
You see, you keep this is the thing, John. You keep encountering this and you keep doing the same thing over and over again. May I suggest an adjustment of tactics to accommodate?
Yeah. Well, that was what I was.
Such as delaying Ferren until after you go.
But on every turn except for the first turn, I want Ferren to go first. Because the Black Cloak might spend his acrobatics.
Yeah,
on Ferren.
and then you delay.
You can only delay on the first turn, I think.
Can you?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
after the first round, the turn order's set. I think that's right.
Right.
I'm going to go forward and I'm going to hit with my parrying dagger.
Does that make a difference?
It does less damage.
Okay. Is that something you can specifically do?
I'm holding it, so I assume so.
I guess so. Yeah, sure. Okay then. Let's do the thing. So, do you want to make the attack against him at a -4, please?
4. That is a hit.
Oh yeah, I need to before you do anything further. Shall I check? The opponent can't defend against the attack, but the master acrobat has to make a successful roll against quick for the enemy to take the hit. And I'm not. Have we resolved that? Whether like, yeah, I think we resolved, didn't we? That like, if they fail the roll, you still don't hit them. You just don't hit Ferren. That's
I thought if they fail the roll, then it hits them. They failed to dodge.
I don't think it does. That opponent cannot defend against the attack, but the master acrobat has to make a successful roll against quick for the enemy to take the hit. Oh, maybe. Anyway, that might be moot. It is moot. Can you roll damage, please?
Yes.
Can you roll how badly you're wounding your cat?
I rolled a 5, and I'm double checking the rules on Bodyguard to see whether I can take my own hit.
That's interesting.
What do I have? I have Adept. So, the character's capacity as a guardian allows it to defend itself against all attacks aimed at the person he or she is protecting. But it's not technically aimed at Ferren. Yeah.
No, I think it's not in the spirit of the thing either. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Like, somehow block the blow with your own body? And like, it doesn't make any sense. So, I'm afraid not.
And Ferren takes 5 damage.
Could have been worse.
It will be very shortly.
Well, no, it shouldn't. Well, that's the thing. You're saying like, oh, you want it to be the other order, but the Black Cloak might just not choose to do it for the cat. I mean, why would they choose to do it for the cat? I don't know. We'll see, eh? So the Black Cloaks, there's only one left, and they're fighting Arendar. The Black Cloak is going to strike out at you, Arendar. Make a defense roll, please, at a -5.
Yes.
-6, actually.
Ooh. And can you also take the poison damage?
Ooh, yes. Well reminded.
That is a pass.
Okay, so you get a hit back, right?
Yes.
Okay, take that shot at -4, please.
He's already used his acrobatics, so I will do that. I will burn an experience point because I'm not taking that 20. That is a success.
Okay, so what's the damage?
That's at advantage, so add that.
Oh,
3.
Advantage from
Farron.
Yeah, from flanking. 3 damage, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
You weren't rolling your parrying dagger for that, were you?
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, it looks like the main thing afflicting this Black Cloak right now is Ferren's poison. and he just seems to be taking little bites and slashes from you and the cat. So something of a stalemate at the moment. There we go. Right, the Templar is going to bodily leap down with her considerably sized sword crashing down onto Elindra. So, with that in mind, Elindra, could you make a... Let me just double check that there's nothing I should be using with her.
Is this coming into like engagement range?
It is, but she's also got long.
Ah! I hate when that happens.
So I'm just double checking if there's any like ability I should be using of hers. I don't think there is. Although as she leaps down, her sword blazes with the familiar discolored fire of Witch Hammer. Okay.
Oh.
Let's.
I hope she's taking the full damage.
No, of course not. It's not that high up. It's like 7 feet or so up.
So 2 meters. It's like a toughness per meter or something. Anyway, it's fine.
Stop trying to make
And
me
she's
hurt
wearing
my
armor.
Toys.
And she's wearing armor that's extra
Yeah.
weight.
I mean, armor defense against falls. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's. No. You're
You've
absolutely
restatted
right.
her with 2 more toughness. Yeah.
No. I haven't. You're absolutely right. So you think she should take 2 toughness, right?
I've changed my mind.
Okay. Because I was just going to check it against her armor and see if her armor can deal with 2 toughness. That's all. Yes. So yeah, she's gonna hit
also, if she's jumping on me, then physics.
Yeah, you're the. Also,
I'm gonna leave this alone, Matt.
Look, I just don't think it's very good for her knees. Okay, I'm just very concerned about this person we're about to kill.
We're using cinematic physics. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be getting this with D&D. So, let's. What's a stat? What the fuck is it? Yeah, defense at -5, please.
I needed an 8, and I got an 8.
Oh, well, there you go. Your sword meets hers with a extremely loud cracking clash, and you are now engaged.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very happy. That was the entirety of her turn, right? So
yeah, movement. She leapt. Yeah.
It's time to play Sawface. I will attack her.
Okay. Can you move Elindra to behind the Templar in the turn order, please?
Now or at the end of the turn?
If you could do it now, that'd be handy. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead and hit her, please. She's got a defense of -1.
-1. That is a hit.
Okay.
I do not remember whether Revenant Strike got activated when we first came to the building. Okay, so then it's just D12 plus D4 plus 1. 15.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Oh, God, I hate doing combats for you people. So, that's past her pain threshold. Do you want to take another hit or knock her prone?
No, she can take another hit. She absolutely can do that. -1 again. That's a hit. 12.
Why do I fucking bother? Honestly, I am honestly pissed off. Like, why? Why do you write the stats like this, Fria Ligan? Fuck's sake, man. They're all
Did you
pathetic.
include the Holy Shield, the Blessed Shield?
That's a good point.
Fria Ligan, you're amazing. Or more accurately, I'm amazing because I put it in at the beginning. No, yes. So what was first damage? 15?
14 and then 12.
Oh, it was 14? I thought you said it was 15.
Oh,
You said 15.
It was 11 and a
You
3.
definitely said okay,
Yeah, it
so
was 15. Yeah, there's 11 on the D12 and a 3 on the D4, so and plus 1, so 15.
Right, 15. Okay, let me recalculate this then, because that's quite different. Okay.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Chris. I couldn't see him be crushed.
Look, I'm not the one being on, prosecuted here. It's the stat block builders of Fria Ligan. But fortunately, yeah, okay, so the Templar leaps down on you. You dodge the blow kind of coming out, or rather, I said you parried it, you clash against it, wheel your blades around, and I'm going to say rather than cut through the plate armor, you're going to like punch out with the pommel of your blade, and the guard is going to go like under the helmet, and you hear like an unpleasant crunch. You think you might have broken her jaw, but either way, as you like pulled it out, you felt like the impact was somewhat dulled by the glowing sparks of this blessed shield over, and it is now no longer over her pain threshold.
Cool. So the second blow doesn't happen.
Correct.
That's
well remembered, John. Well remembered. I put it there for a fucking reason, and then I forgot it. So I'm the only one to blame.
I just figured you're not used to using it, and we are, so it just felt like
I will tomorrow morning, as soon as the stream is ended. In fact, I will place D20s under my eyelids as penance. So there we go. Why would I even say that?
No one asked you to do that.
I'm assuming you're not using a movement, Elindra, that you're staying in combat with this
yes, I think I don't really want to give them a free attack.
That seems very sensible. Steo, it's you. You are in a room with Ascarai and a dead Blackcloak.
I'm going to move into the next room.
I thought Steo was with me.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you've moved into the main room. The current setup of it is Elindra is fighting a large and quite fearsome-looking Templar. Anton seems not currently been hit, but he's probably definitely going to struggle facing 2 Twilight Friars, and there's also a Sun Priest a little way away.
Can I make it to the Twilight Friars?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can make it to any of those combats.
Yeah, I'm going to see that Anton is probably going to be experiencing a little bit of trouble, and we'll go and try and aid him.
Absolutely.
Not that Mike's here, so he won't realize that I'm doing a good deed, but sure, never mind.
Sure. I am going to judge. This is a difficult one. You remember they've got that thing where you can't attack them? Okay, yeah. Let's do that. So you enter into combat with them. And obviously you'd normally get your long attack on one of them, right? So what I'm going to do before we do anything, what's your resolute?
My resolute is 10.
Okay, that's just going to be a flat roll then. Okay, so this is interesting. You cannot attack this turn the one you initially do the long attack on. It can deflect onto one of their allies. So I'm assuming you just want to deflect straight onto the other Twilight Friar.
Do I get a roll to resist this effect?
The roll I made was the roll to resist.
Can you...
Oh, hang on. What's yeah. What's your thing?
You need to. I would like to ask you to roll that again.
Is it just a reroll?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a second attempt. So if it's a second attempt to escape from ongoing physical or supernatural impediments. So actually, it sounds like there should be a roll for me to escape from this rather than a roll for you to cast it, because yours is the casting roll.
Yeah, but in Symbaroum, there's only ever one roll. It's just whether I
Okay.
make it or whether you make it.
Yeah. I think playing the rules as written, you should have rolled the dice that Matt just rolled, but I think it would have been.
Oh,
the
of
same.
course, yeah, because
the
it's
same
diceless.
roll.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the same odds either way. So,
Yeah.
yes, but you could go ahead and make it. Now, we had this last time where we were like, this doesn't sound physical or supernatural, but I believe we then looked and your thing also had a like.
It's at adept, which means it counts for supernatural impediments.
It's not supernatural. That's
I think
what
it's
I mean.
It's
the master
anything-
that goes
it
to
is-
psychological.
It is anything that is modified by resolute.
Right. Is it steadfast? Yeah.
Yeah, steadfast at adept.
Sorry, I know we double checked it last time, but I just want to be double sure. Yeah, ongoing powers that affect either its will or its senses. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, that counts. Okay, in that case, do you want to make the second roll? And it's resolute at a -5, so you need 5 or less. I was rolling 15 or less. You wrote 5 or less. So.
That's an 18, so we're back in.
Right. So this is interesting now. So technically speaking, you can't attack either of them. You can attack an ally, but there's no other allies engaged, and you can't move because you've taken your movement.
And I'm not engaged, or I am engaged.
You ran to be engaged with them. You are engaged. You just can't attack either of them this turn.
Okay, guess it's the throwing daggers towards the Black Templar then. Oh, switching weapons takes a movement, so that's out of the question as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's my turnover. Have fun, everyone.
It's a weird ass ability. It is a weird ability. Can I just read it out just to verify and make sure that you guys think I'm implementing this right? So, it's called Dominate. The character can, as a free action, and with a successful persuasive resisted by resolute test, force an enemy to hesitate in melee combat. A hesitating enemy will not attack the character this turn. If possible, it attacks one of the character's allies instead. But it's not possible to do that.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I have been crowd controlled.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can they use free actions not on their turn?
Yes, you can use free actions at any time. Otherwise, it'd be worthless, right? Because otherwise, it'd defend only against attacks against you on your turn, which is barely any.
A handful.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was thinking of the rounds rather than the turn.
You could take free actions at any point during the round, and you could take as many of them as you want. Hence the term free action, I suppose. Yeah. Again, it's up to you how they do this, because as written, it seems a bit ludicrous.
It seems like it's kind of force of will, like it's psychological, essentially.
Yeah, it's intimidation, or it's maybe they round on you, kind of screaming about the will of Prios and stuff, and you're used to hearing that stuff from people you respect to a certain degree. So,
if we're rules lawyering, sorry, Chris, I've looked up steadfast, and I don't think adept level would protect against that. I think you need master level is where it gets into like psychological stuff.
It said anything against his will.
His will.
The character can make a second attempt to succeed. This is novice. A second attempt to succeed with strong or resolute test when trying to break an ongoing physical effect, traps, poisons, or alchemical effects.
Yeah, it's the adept one.
Yeah, the character is unshakable and can make a second attempt to shrug off ongoing powers that affect either its will, or senses.
He has adept. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. The master level is that it damages them.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So we're saying will or senses is.
Yeah. I think that counts. That counts.
I love this. This fifth. I think this is 20 XP I have spent on this skill, and all it's done is drive us apart as a family.
It's worse than that. You spent 30.
Oh God.
Yeah. In total. Yeah. Steo falters, unwilling to plunge his spear through the breast of an agent of Prios. Antom, who's gonna face probably the same issue, although his resolute's a lot higher. So yeah. What's Anton going to do?
Why would Anton not try and cast Blessed Shield in this situation?
Maybe he would, because he's in the middle of a combat, and it does. I mean, it does help him not get hit or not get hurt. Yeah, he may well do.
I think Anton, maybe shaken by the fact that Prios's own light is being used against him, will take this moment to say some sacred words and even the playing field regarding Blessed Shield.
Or at least try. Mike's not
At least
rolling.
try.
You'll probably be all right.
It's his resolute is 15. So here we go.
I mean, sure, but there we go. Lovely. We did have a suggestion from 42 in chat. We should keep track of Anton's success rate when Mike is here versus but there we go. Cool. Okay, Blessed Shield. I believe he has an adept, so that means it's on him and someone else. Who else is he putting on?
That's probably...
I'd imagine it's you or Alindra.
Yeah.
Of course, because that's kind of line of sight, isn't it? I can't really...
I was imagining it would be Steo because Steo is the one that's stepped in to try to help him. But
also you've kind of got this fearsome opponent. I don't know. Could roll a die for it if you can't decide.
Gonna roll a die. 10 or less, it's Alindra. 10 or more, it's Steo. 19.
Oh my god, if it's 10, you get double value. So it's Alindra.
No, it's Steo.
Oh, it's Steo. Never mind. I got confused. Okay. So you two have Blessed Shield. Is Blessed Shield a D4 for...
No, at Adept it's D6.
D6. Very nice. Okay. There we go. No movement action. I'm assuming not trying to disengage. So
no, that would be silly.
There we go. Let's go with the Sun Priest then. The Sun Priest is going to incant in a language you've only heard Anton use rarely, the kind of secret language of the Curia, of the Theurgs, of the Sun Priests. He is going to raise a golden quarterstaff up to the cloud-strewn sky, and he's going to unleash an ability called Prios Burning Glass. And basically can... Okay, this is interesting. We talked about line of sight. Well, I said for Ascarai that he doesn't have line of sight to the chamber, so I'm going to say he's shaded from Prios's Burning Glass. I didn't make the same judgment for Aaron and Ferrin, so I am going to roll a die randomly based on my estimation and see whether you are affected by it. I'm going to give you good odds, though. And you made it. In that case, everyone in the chamber, so that's Anton, Steo, Elindra, can you all make an armor roll, please? And obviously, the new Blessed Shield counts.
The Blessed Shield adds a D6. Is that right?
It does, although you don't have it. Oh, yeah, you do.
Hang
what?
On. No, who got it?
Steo. I can't remember.
No, Steve, you do not have Blessed Shield.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, Steo had it. Yeah.
I was just repeating Matt's mistake.
Yeah.
I rolled 13 for Steo.
Yeah, you're fine.
2 for Lindra.
Okay.
Owie.
And Anton?
Working on it. What kind of armor do you wear? D4. My God, man. How do you live like this?
D4 plus the, don't forget the D6.
2, 8.
Okay. In that case, the staff takes on a blinding glow and light streams out from it in a painful burning burst that this toughness damages as much just your eyes and your senses as it is your flesh, although your flesh also feels like you've just been stood out in the sun for entirely too long at Midsummer. Elindra, could you take 4 damage, please?
Yep, done.
For what it's worth, the Sun Priest seems to be, if you had to guess, not intent on stopping doing it. So there we go. But let's roll back round to the beginning. Askarai.
Askarai is going to step into the doorway to this kind of central chamber, or what's left of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see. I think the Templar and the Friars are engaged, right? So the Sun Priest is probably the only one he has a clear line of sight to.
I say yes. I think with one more movement, he could be in like a position to like flank the back of both combats. But assuming he wants to fire this turn, the Sun Priest is probably his only target.
The Sun Priest is doing weird magic stuff, and we all know that Askarai does not give a stuff about shooting Sun Priests.
Absolutely.
So that's going to happen.
I'm assuming you're using a no armor shot because you can't do a double shot.
Yes. Does that work?
Unless it's
well, he's moved, so I don't know if the armor.
That's the double shot, I think, rather than the.
Okay, you can
take a look into marksman because that's where it is. Yeah, no, it's just every normal shot is armor piercing.
Amazing. Then he's going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which will get rid of the old blessed shield as well. So that's a shot for you at a +3.
And he did a 19 and got a 2. So yeah, that's a hit.
Okay, and what's the damage on that one?
So we decided that was D10 plus 2D4, right?
Mm-hmm.
13.
Yeah. So Askarai dashes into the room, raises his bow, and an arrow sprouts underneath the Sun Priest's mask, directly through the throat. The golden black robes instantly become soaked down to the waist in blood, and the Sun Priest topples backwards into the hole in the center of the room that he clambered out of. Oh, and just in time for his second kill of the night, it's Sam.
Congratulations, Sam! You win.
Sam, you're disgusting.
You did it.
Thank goodness. How are we winning?
You're winning.
You were almost winning even harder until I realized I'd made an error, which John gladly pointed out to me, thus leaving Elindra slightly more fucked. But yeah, but fucked is a very relative value in this, it seems, because you're doing all right.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, just to fill you in on the session, Sam, you one-shotted a Black Cloak and then you one-shotted a Sun Priest.
Okay, good.
Neither of them were involved in the fight, though. You just ran outside and went wild. You also one-shotted a turnip seller and
become GTA.
Yeah,
we're all trying to work out how to make you stop, and
yeah. You one-shotted Steo. So you know what happened. Yeah, the fight kicked off. A Black Cloak dashed into the chamber you were in with Steo. You killed them instantly, and you've now run into the central chamber where you one-shotted the Sun Priest. But the fights that are now going on is Elindra's fighting this kind of black-clad Templar. Antom and Steo are both fighting the 2 Twilight Friars, who are using that ability they have to just stop people attacking them, which means that nothing's kind of happened in that. And Arendar and Farron are over in another side room with another Black Cloak. And that's it, right? I think that's everything. Cool. Okay. Twilight Friar... No, John?
Before we continue, because since Steo's turn, I've been checking about free actions.
Okay.
I think they can only use that ability on their turn. and it like sets it up for the round. Because free actions, I think free actions are only done on your turn. Unless they're triggered by something like a free attack.
The thing you've listed in the chat is a free attack, not a free action.
Yeah, that's true. But I also...
I can assure you, otherwise, almost all the free actions in the game would have no purpose.
Okay.
I want you to go check on what your riposte is called, because it'll be called a free action. In which case, you can only actually use it when you're receiving an attack on your turn. So, good luck with that. You could just trust me on it, but go ahead.
I can't remember. There it is.
Yeah.
No, my riposte is a reaction.
Okay. Okay, let's look it up then. Because what you listed is a free attack, not a free action.
But the only place that I can see free action listed is on page 158, where it says the things that you can do on your turn.
Okay.
I think there's a combat action, a maneuver action, and an unlimited amount of free actions.
You're right, it does list it that way.
And the only other place I can see free action listed, in that section at least, is when it's talking about unsheathing your weapon, which I assume would be on your initiative, otherwise they wouldn't.
You know what? After my incredibly arrogant performance there, I think John might be right. Yeah, I think John's right.
I've got it. Actions in combat. Besides combat and movement actions, also reactive actions, free attacks and defense tests. There are also free actions. All actions except reactions are performed on the character's initiative.
Okay, so John's right. There we go. Successfully proved me wrong live on stream. Well done. That's.
I helped with the holy shield.
That was to my benefit. I'm not complaining about that. Okay, so we'll do it like that from now on. But it's kind of too late to go back, and I'm not re-rolling Steo's attacks. So instead, oh god, I guess it's kind of pointless in this specific circumstance then, because I guess they can both use it on Steo. That would probably be the sensible thing, because he's clearly more dangerous in melee.
Yeah, and then he can't attack them on his initiative. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, it's their action now, so they're just going to do that. Steo, can you roll 2 of those resolute defense rolls, please? So you get 2 chances at 5 or less.
Okay. 7 is greater than 5, and 12 is greater than 5. That's 2 fails.
Okay, you ain't attacking them on this turn. Of course, come your turn, that means you can just disengage and attack someone else if you wanted. So there we go. What they are going to do, however, is one of them is going to attack Steo and one of them is going to attack Anton. So, Steo, do you want to make the defense rolls for both of you, please? Those defense rolls will both be at a -4.
So Steo is on, oh my god, 6 or less. Yep. That's a fail.
Okay.
Will we focus on Steo and then loop round to Anton, or will we go for Anton?
Yeah, let's focus on Steo first. That makes sense. So I'm going to need an armor roll for you, please.
That is a D10 plus a D6, which is 7 in total.
Okay, I'm just going to check something here, because they have a quality on their weapon, and I just want to double check that I've got it right. Yeah, I've got it right. That's fine. Did you roll a 7, did you say? Chris.
Yes, I did. I was checking to unmute. I wasn't even muted.
There we go. Yeah, the Twilight Friar manages to run their blade along the inside of your spear and kind of jab it through kind of some overlapping plates on your arm. It's a cut. Not a deep wound, but it's definitely there. Take 2 toughness.
Ouch, you little priesty twat.
Did you include the Blessed Shield in that roll?
I did. It was a 1.
Okay. Okay, make the defense roll for Anton, please, to -4. I think. Is it -4?
3s or lower, everyone.
It's actually a -5. Sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter, because poor old Anton is going to Peon Town with a 20.
Like, we're playing the character. Do you want to spend an XP?
I think so.
I think Mike would not begrudge you an XP for that.
Yeah. Let's try again. 6 is a fail, but not a catastrophic fail.
Not a catastrophic fail. Cool. Can you roll Anton's armor and don't forget the Blessed Shield? Which I'm sure you won't.
That is that is a 6 in total.
Okay. The Twilight Friar slashes out and catches Anton along the shoulder, cutting through his robe for 3 toughness. I'm definitely assuming that his pain threshold is not 2, so
safe assumption.
Safe assumption. There we go. It's Farron's turn.
Black Cloak's still standing, isn't he? Yes.
Correct.
Farron's going to go for this Black Cloak.
Okay.
Or was it a -4?
Yes, it is indeed a -4.
That is a fail.
Okay, never mind. Farron snaps at the Black Cloak. It doesn't manage to find purchase, which is bad news in a number of ways, isn't it?
But he is going to, having already taken a chunk of damage, roll a quick to do an acrobatics check to try and disengage.
Ooh.
So a quick of 13 and pass.
Okay.
So he's going to slink off into the corner to lick his wounds.
Dodges out of the way. Wonderful. In that case, Arendar.
In that case, Arendar is going to try and hit the Black Cloak.
Okay. That's at a -4.
-4. 12 or lower. Success.
Okay.
No flanking advantage, so just D12. Oh my god, I rolled another one on my D12. That's the second time it's happened. Just the one damage.
Okay, your fencing blade slides off the kind of cured leather that the Black Cloak is wearing under their black cloak, and you do not feel that you have wounded them at all. Okay, time for the Templar's turn, and again, oh no, it's not. It's time for the Black Cloak's turn, of course. Can you roll defense, please, Arendar, at a -5? -6.
That is a fail.
That is a fail. Can you roll armor, please?
That is 7.
And that is interesting because I have just noticed, I don't think these Black Cloaks have hit you all yet, which is probably why I haven't noticed that the stat block, the actual damage number is missing. Okay, now I have found it again. Sorry, what did you say you rolled?
7.
7. Yeah, they have a similar fencing sword to yours, and it also skids across your... you kind of got like lamellar scale, right? Yeah, it skids off it. Exactly the same problem, and you circle each other trying to find weaknesses in your defenses. And now we'll go to... Sorry, no, you carry on.
Poison damage.
Poison damage. Indeed. This Black Cloak is starting to look a little... more than a little nauseous and sickly, although I believe that's the last of the poison damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, let's go to the Templar, shall we? And Elindra, the Templar definitely isn't doing anything fancy. They are just going to strike at you. So make a defense roll at a -5, please.
All right, -5. I need an 8. Dice says 2.
Okay.
I'm happy with that. I can see that you're not.
Sure you are. It's not. This is the thing. I'm not actually an antagonistic GM. I don't take but it's the kind of thing where I've been trying to ramp up the threat, and it feels like no matter how high I ramp it, it's just like, nah, don't hit us. Nah. Not you specifically. All of you fucks. Not Stephen. I would never say something bad about Stephen. Just as about all of you as a whole.
But one day something's gonna hit us, and it'll just be like one shot.
Maybe. We will find out, but not today, I suspect.
Not this round.
No. You defend against her strike towards you adeptly, and it clatters away. Kind of the tip of her sword skitters along the ground, spraying sparks up, and she attempts to ready herself into a defense again. Who we got next? Elindra, of course.
Elindra. So,
okay. So it's a attack at a -1.
Cool. I got a 1.
Of course you did. So go ahead and roll the damage. And they don't have the blessed shield anymore. That's an interesting question, though. That's an actual question for the group, because I was pondering about this earlier. Because blessed shield lasts a scene. Do we think it dies when the caster dies? Because that's not.
Well,
that's a deep theological question.
It is.
Yeah, the answer to that hangs upon whether or not Prios exists.
Sure. Because here's the thing. There are spells that require you to maintain them every turn, and they require a resolute roll every turn. But this spell, as far as I'm aware, I believe just says it lasts for the scene. So I think, and obviously this doesn't particularly, it matters in this moment, but it doesn't matter broadly, because obviously I will also apply it to, if Anton gets cut down or, gets knocked down in a death roll or whatever, I will also apply it to you. But, it is, my gut would be that if it says it lasts the scene, it lasts the scene. It's Prion will.
I think it might be one of those things that will have to house rule per ability
thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that probably is per scene.
And also I feel like because the whole thing of casting mystical powers in this is that you are corrupting the world to do it, and that's what corruption is. I feel like you've corrupted the world. It doesn't matter. The world doesn't care that you're dead. It's still corrupted.
The bargain got made.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. In that case, we will keep the blessed shield on the Templar for now. Your 1 means you do the big extra damage.
Right? Remind me, it's a D4. Is it a D6?
It's a D6.
Hot dang. Right, okay. They're quite bad dice rolls though, so 10.
Oh shit. They are, because your sword clangs on their armor and does nothing.
That's a shame.
It is. So again, there's this kind of, basically there's just a stalemate all across this, apart from Ascarai slowly walking around, killing them one by one. There we go. If only I was, not making that up in some way. So with that in mind, Steo, it's your turn. You cannot attack the 2 individuals you are engaged with. But similarly, I suppose if you withdraw, they will definitely get to try and hit you, and you would be kind of abandoning Anton to them. So it's up to you what you want to do with that.
I'm going to take my action to change weapons to my throwing daggers, and I'm going to throw a dagger at who's left.
The Templar is probably the only one you can hit.
Yeah.
And in a magical world where I roll 3 1s in a row, I think I'll be able to do some damage to the Templar, but it's better than nothing.
Now, not to shit on your parade. That's the expression. But are we applying the same line of sight rules as firing an arrow? Because I
I'd
think
say
we
we
have to,
should,
right?
yeah.
There's
In
a
which
ranged weapon.
in which case, I don't think you can. You haven't got a kind of flanking vantage point or a height advantage or anything. It's all just like Elindra and the Templar are like moving around each other, and I don't think you can. I'm afraid
What's going through Steele's mind at the minute?
that he's being thoroughly crowd controlled, I suppose.
Yeah, this is the shoes on the other foot right now. I think everyone's doing okay without me though, so this is a disappointing waste of Steele's few remaining years on this planet, but I suppose it makes sense.
I mean, you're losing your attacks, but you are tanking for Antom as well by just being there.
Yeah, I'm kind of a tank of moral support. Basically, just a little guy on the dashboard.
Just a little guy. Just a little guy.
Why can't Steel attack these
because
people?
The Twilight
Doesn't
Friars
wanna.
have the the Twilight Friars have the dominate ability, which means once per round they can make one other enemy not be able to attack them.
With just like no roll,
No, there were rolls and he failed them.
But no,
and I had
don't-
advantage
it's
on
not
those
like a-
rolls because I had better skills.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof.
I suppose that means, though, for as long as you're stood there with the spear looking all threatening, they might continue trying to do that to you and not to Antom or Ascarai or anyone else.
Hold on a second. Oh my god, how complex and awkward has tonight been? So, do you remember I asked you to roll twice?
Yeah.
I forgot. Roll twice again.
I was
The
going to
twice was
say,
because both of them were doing it.
but it's still basically it was -5, wasn't it? So it's still
it's still -5.
it's still 5s or under.
It's still 5. Okay. The other one doesn't matter.
One of them's going to Bonksville, let me tell you that.
Filthy. So, yeah, roll to you won't hit them now. The laws of humor and nature are against it. So, can you roll an attack, please, at a -4?
10s are under. Come on. No.
Do you want to XP it?
For 1d10's worth of damage, I think I'd rather continue this charade.
Fair enough. But you at least do try and strike out at this.
I did
Twilight
something.
Fire. You did something. It didn't achieve anything, but you did it. Trust me, I'm very familiar with that. And I congratulate you, a kindred spirit. So, Steo, Antom is not similarly afflicted. Antom can attack them perfectly fine.
Right. How do attacks work for normal people? It's still accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's accurate. He definitely doesn't have
Oh, merciful.
And it's
Jeez.
the flail, so he's got stuff if he misses, right?
Yeah, he's got like
Like-
a backswing type thing if he misses.
If he
What was it?
misses but rolls
-5, yeah?
Sorry,
The modifier is -5.
-4.
-4. 9, 8, 7, 6. 5s are under. That's a 10. 10 is not an odd number, so jointed does not proc. No damage is done this day.
Does he have any flail mastery? Is it called flail mastery? I think it's literally called flailing.
Apparently not. Not
I
here.
don't think he does. He could do with that.
Failure. What a failure.
I think we have made that joke before.
I think I've made that joke
I-
before. It's still.
But I love it. So I have no problem with it. The Sun Priest is dead. Let's roll back to the beginning. Literally, it does feel like Ascarai is just going to down every one of these one after the other. I think it was before you came in, Sam, but basically you're in that central room now. And I've said that because of the way both of the fights are on one side of the room, if you basically move round to the other side, you can get a clear shot on either combat. So you could shoot at either the Templar or the Twilight Friars. But as usual, if you roll it's like if you roll a 20, we said, right? Yeah, if you roll a 20, you're hitting one of your pals. But
I think the only sensible thing to do would be to try and kill the Black Templar, especially with such high armor. So I would try and move to a place that I could shoot that as safely as possible and
absolutely
try and shoot her.
I still object to the notion that your armor, like ignoring thing, ignores mystical armor. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's the rules, and we're gonna live by the rules.
I don't think a D6 is going to make much of a difference.
Maybe it's not D6 for them.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay, I'm gonna Hunter's Instinct the Black Templar as well. Give me a bit more damage if I hit, and another chance to hit if I roll. What is the?
It's -1, so it's not too bad for you.
I need a 15 or less in 2 tries. That is 2 failures, a 16 and an 18.
Good
I
Lord.
might re-roll because it's very hittable. I will re-roll. It's very hittable.
Okay. That's an XP burn right there.
Nope. And that is also a 20. I don't know if That was some terrible rolls.
I am
opposite of good, so
now this is where it's interesting, because of course you get to the idea is that you get to pick. Right, I am instituting this thing. You can call me a wanker, but I'm fine with that. I think the spirit of if you roll a 20 when you like hit in combat is like, especially in this case where it's like the re-roll for XP.
I would love to disagree with you, Matt, but fair enough, honestly.
Because otherwise, when will he ever where he'd only otherwise hit you guys if he rolls 2 20s?
I will take an arrow to the knee.
I think we got to do it.
I think it's more an arrow to the eyeball.
You guys keep rolling for me was doing a lot better for me.
Thankfully, Blessed Shield does not. I said this is a good idea from the beginning. Blessed Shield does not get. It still gets stripped by this armor, and I've always said that that's a good idea. It makes perfect sense.
I at least don't have my Hunter's Instinct damage.
No,
this is armor piercing, though, isn't it?
It is armor piercing.
Yeah, you don't get any armor roll. Yeah,
it's bad. Well, I haven't rolled, but hopefully I roll bad.
But we know it's bad because it's Ascarite.
It's a D10 +1 plus a D4. I guess my beast does my beast law. Do I have to apply my beast law?
I mean, what does it say?
Yeah, let me have a look.
I guess I don't get a defense against this. This is just pure damage, right?
No. How I've ruled it is the 20 means hit but wrong thing if you're firing into combat. Otherwise, it's too it'll never happen. Otherwise,
what a disaster!
It's a punishment for firing into combat, and we've escaped it so far.
Yeah, it does say the character now deals 1d4 additional damage to monsters from that category, which will be cultural beings. This extra damage also applies
Elindra is a monster from that category,
as was the Templar that you were aiming at. So
yeah. I think it's fair that Hunter's Instinct doesn't apply because that is
yeah. The Hunter's Instinct was not applied on Elindra. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, I'll do my lowest rolling possible.
See, what gets really bad here is if he goes over your pain threshold and takes the extra shot.
It's not too bad. It's 8 damage.
That's not too bad.
That
it could have been way worse.
That is my pain threshold.
Then you're fine.
Okay.
If it hasn't clicked it, then you're fine. Well, you're not fine, but
fine is an extremely relative term.
Yeah, you now have an arrow in your shoulder, both in and through your shoulder. And
sorry,
you reel.
For the love of Praos!
That's what we get for firing into combat, folks. This is the most. It's not the most complex combat. We've all made rules errors. We've all made rules. Every one of us has made. Definitely not just me, but we've all made rules errors in this. But it's turning out to be the most awkward combat we've ever had, I think. So, Elindra has an arrow in the arm or in the shoulder from Askarai. It's now the Twilight Friar's turn. So the first thing they're going to do is take their free action, and they're going to once again both apply it to Steo. So Steo, please make 2 5 or less d20 rolls, and then feel free to take them again.
Okay, let's go. Fail. 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 Fail.
Great. Okay, well, that's that. So the next thing they're going to do is going to hit both of you. So Steo, if you can make a defense roll at -5, please. Yes, -5.
5s or less. 8, that's a fail.
Okay, in that case, make an armor roll, please.
13.
13. And you include in the Blessed Shield in that, right? Yeah. One of their quite heavy-looking blades kind of swipes out for you, but slows down in the manner you're accustomed to as it passes through the Blessed Shield. And by the time it reaches your armor, it does not have enough impact to do any damage to you whatsoever. Can you similarly roll a defense roll for Anton, please, at a -5?
So that's like 2s or better. That's a fail.
And armor, please. Don't forget Blessed Shield.
2. 8.
Okay, that's not bad. Again, they swipe out at him, and the Blessed Shield slows it enough that they only, like, the flat of the blade impacts on his jaw, but not too hard to take 1 toughness.
You all doubted me wasting my first turn on Blessed Shield, and look at you now, scandalized.
If I doubted, you mean that everyone was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
But, other than that, okay, is Farron going to do anything, John?
No.
Okay. Is Aaron going to do
Yes.
Aaron going to... Yeah, I don't bother.
Aaron might as well.
Okay, then attack. I'm assuming you're attacking the Black Cloak.
Yes.
The battery is running out on my mouse. This is my favorite Symbaroum session. Defense is -4.
Success.
Okay. What's the armor? What's the armor? What's the damage?
5 damage.
5 damage. Bit better. Okay. Your fencing blade pierces their chest. It's not a kill. You don't think you've got them in the lungs or anything, but you're definitely drawing a lot of blood, and they're looking like they're on their last legs. This and the poison is probably the combo of things that is finishing them off, but not quite yet. And it's their turn. So why don't you give me a defense roll at -6, please?
That is a pass.
Okay, then you get to attack them at -4.
That is a miss.
Okay. The last desperate clashes of your fencing blades together as the Black Cloak feels perhaps that the combat has gone against them. It's the Templar's turn. Elindra, why don't you give us a defense roll at -5, please?
Alrighty. That's a fail. Can I spend an XP on that? I'd like to spend an XP on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give poor Matt a flipping.
That's
aneurysm.
another fail, but hey, on the plus side, I'm down an XP. So, you know,
Look,
I've got that going for me.
less of that kind of optimism and sunshine in this session, please, Stephen. It's not to date this, but it's a general election tomorrow. There's no room for optimism and sunshine around these parts.
Things can't only get better. Sorry.
I got
in
it.
this combat.
I got it.
Yeah.
Nice 90s reference. Classic politics. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Give me your armor roll, please.
Let's do that. Please be good. That's a 3. Which is not good.
I'm sorry. She ignores armor.
Well, then I don't feel so bad about rolling a 3.
No. Sorry. It's probably bad that I have to calculate this, right? Sorry, yeah, she's got master two-handed force.
Right.
So that will be 17 toughness, please.
Elindra is, you will be not surprised to hear,
It's down. Yeah. Elindra reels forward from the like, well, you got the impact of the arrow in your shoulder and kind of like sort of try to ignore it, wheeled round on the Templar and try to batter their next blow away, but they angled it basically so that it would pull on the arm. Your arm just kind of went dead and flailed over to your side. They took a quick sidestep and literally just found the bottom of your breastplate and ran you through. You took the sword through your guts and you collapse onto the floor in probably considerable pain. Okay. It's Steo.
Well, technically it's Elindra's turn.
Oh, shit.
First,
it's
which
your
means
turn immediately.
Death roll.
Okay.
All right.
So it's been a while since we did this.
I've got the table up here. Will I recap for people? Okay, so I'm rolling a d20. On a 1, I recover with d4 toughness. 2 to 10, no effect. 11 to 19, if I roll 3 of those, I die. Or if I roll a 20, that's immediate death.
And we've judged
house rules, no XP.
No XP rerolls on these.
Immediate death, apart from some cool final words. It specifies that in the book. Just be thinking of that. Just bear that in mind.
Yeah, start thinking about that now, because
before I click the button to roll the dice. All right, we ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a 14, so that is
that's your first check.
1 of 3. Yeah.
Okay. Elindra is definitely bleeding out on the floor. Steo. Now, I mean, you can't hit these guys anyway.
Do I take 2 disengagement attacks to go and maybe make a dent on the Black Templar?
Oh, I was thinking you were going to stabilize Elindra.
Is that a thing he could do? I mean, the Templar stood right there, isn't it?
He's not.
I think it would be a little bit clunky, kind of, to visualize.
You're
that.
right.
I think
if the Templar moves away from you, I think it's very easily a thing that can be done. But
if only I had a way to cause the Templar to move away from you. Oh wait, I kind of do.
Engage.
I am going to be the big damn hero and take a heap of damage to go and help Elindra.
That seems perfectly fair. All right, let's give me you just have to. It's just 3 attacks, right? And I don't think there's any like malice to the defenses or anything. So can you just give me 2 defense rolls that are each at -5? I'll double check that. Yeah, 2 defense rolls at -5, please.
A fail and a fail.
Jesus. Okay. 2 armor rolls then, please. Don't forget the Blessed Shield.
12 and 3.
Okay. Well, the 12, you feel a sword clash on your plate to no effect. The other strike manages to catch you on the hip and slices through your side, there's a couple of inches worth. It's a pretty deep scar, and that will be 6 toughness. What is your pain threshold?
Certainly better than that, if memory serves.
I
Pain
would
threshold
imagine.
7.
You are fine.
Okay.
Okay. And you are engaging the Templar, I assume.
Yes, as I enter engagement mode, I will be procking Master.
Templar has long. Templar
Well,
sword.
twat fudge. Okay.
Would it
Let's go
make
then.
you better or worse if you know that the long on their sword is an additional thing I gave them?
Honestly, my general hatred for you is pretty much maxed out at this stage anyway, so it doesn't really tip the balance.
Years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah, but you can attack them.
Great. What's their modifier?
I think it's only -1, right? Yeah, it's -1.
13s are better. That's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay, do you want to roll damage for me?
Yep, that's 8 + 1, and that's a 9.
It's a 9. Your spear slams into their plate and slides off it completely.
Well, at least they're not going to coup de grace my best friend.
Nope. They're certainly not. And also, I will consider Elindra disengaged now, should anyone wish to try and help. Although I feel like the two of you who have Medicus are now engaged. And can we remember who has the... I can't remember what it's called. We haven't used it for so long.
Water of the Dusk, and Askrai and Antom has it.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Anton, what's Anton going to do?
Anton can't really be the big damn hero because cogent and aware that Steo has just done this wearing basically a tank. Anton is wearing fluffy robes, so Anton is just going to angrily flail out.
Okay, then can he make an attack at one of the black cloaks at a -4, please?
I think that is ones or nothing.
What? Is his attack 6? So 5?
His accurate. His accurate is 9. Okay, so I rolled 5. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That's a hit! Holy crap!
Roll damage. Because like his damage die is pretty good, isn't it? Like, I think, but I could be wrong.
And that's a 7, which is respectable.
That is perfectly fine. Okay. Yeah, he will kind of like swings out the flail and it catches the one who managed to slash your side in the chest, leaving them staggering backwards and gasping for breath, but very much still up and active. So there we go. Let's go back to Askarai then, please.
Askarai is going to try and right wrongs and actually hit this person this time, maybe?
Shoot Steo for a change.
I've done enough shooting of Steo for one campaign, I feel like. Okay, I'm going to try on... It was a -1. I still have Hunter's Instinct on them, so I get 2 tries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 11 on the second try, which is a hit.
Okay. Now, was this armor piercing?
Yeah.
Okay. You are going to hate this, but they get a roll to counteract.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Abilities or equipment that make attacks ignore or reduce armor value. It is Man at Arms Master. They get a roll against Quick. Their Quick is 11.
Okay.
They do not make that roll.
Yes. Whew. Okay. I have a D10 and 2 D4s plus 1 for my damage. I only have 1 D4, so I got to roll it twice. $12 damage.
12 damage. Let me check their pain threshold, but I cannot imagine their pain threshold is Their pain threshold is 8. So let me apply the 12 damage. Oh, we didn't need to bother. Your arrow pierces them basically where the back of their helm meets their breast guard, or their back guard, I suppose. Your arrow slams through it, and Steo, you see like their head tip back, and they give quite unpleasant hacking and coughing noise before dropping first to one knee and then kind of crashing to the ground as if the armor is empty. Like it's not. I'm not saying that something mystical has happened. Just it's like there isn't a body even in there anymore. It just collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. They're still making very unpleasant noises of pain and discomfort, but you don't think they're getting back up. If only you'd done that last turn. The Twilight Friars. Right. The Twilight Friars are going to do their thing on Anton first. So, Chris, can you make... what's Anton's Resolute?
Pretty sure Anton's Resolute is 15.
I think it's pretty high.
Yep. It is
Okay.
15.
So his rolls are definitely going to be better. So can you make 50? So make 2 rolls, and he needs 10s or under.
Fail. Pass.
Okay, so you can hit 1 on his turn. So there we go. They're now going to attack him as well, because obviously. In which case, can you make 2 defense rolls for him, please, at -5?
Let me just double check, but I think that's 3s to 1s. Yep. Fail and fail.
Okay. Then can you give 2 armor rolls for him, please? Don't forget Blessed Shield.
Do. That's 6 on the first roll. And 5 on the second roll. My God.
Okay. So that's going to be... how much toughness has he got left?
Not much. He has 7 toughness left. No, wait. He has 6 toughness left. That's worse.
The 2 Twilight Friars cut Anton down.
Ascarai.
No.
So, Farron.
So, I like to think that maybe Farron has a bit of a soft spot for Anton, because Anton seems like the sort of guy to sneak him a bit of extra bacon. And Farron's retreated from the Black Cloak, decided he actually doesn't like this thing very much. He sees Anton go down, and I think he's going to go for one of the Twilight Friars.
Okay. In which case, can you make an attack for Anton at a -4, please?
For Farron.
Mm-hmm.
He rolled a 1.
Good. So that's an extra D6, right, to the damage?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is a D6 and a D8. 9.
9.
And we'll apply the poison.
Yeah. So, first of all, that goes past their pain threshold. Prone or attack?
Attack.
Okay. Make another attack then.
That is a hit, but only 4 damage this time.
Okay, that does not go through their armor, unfortunately. But they are basically now kind of like thrashing around and struggling and kind of like trying to desperately reach over and like strike Farron with the pommel of their blade, as like the cat is just attached to the back of them, and they're letting out really quite an awful shrieking sound. So we go to Arendar.
I hear the shrieking, and I'm going to try and disengage with this black cloak.
Okay.
So it's a quick roll, which I fail.
Okay, so make a defense roll at a.
No, I can choose whether or not I still want to disengage.
Oh, okay. Is it acrobatics?
Yes, and I won't.
Okay.
I will not have the opportunity, so I will try to hit.
Mm-hmm. So that's at a
I will
minus.
drop my d20 on the floor.
Okay, that's at a -4.
That is a fail.
Okay. Does that just add up to a big old nothing?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Well, the black cloak is now going to attack you, so take a defense roll at -6, please.
That is a 1.
Okay.
So that is an attack for my riposte and a free attack for the 1. Is that how we've done it before?
Yeah.
The riposte is a miss.
Okay.
And free attack is another miss.
Jesus Christ. These are at -4, right?
Yeah, I'm rolling over my base attribute.
We've come full circle here, folks. As Stephen has very adroitly pointed out in chat, this has become I can't hit these guys into. This could be a party wipe potentially. So we've gone on a real roller coaster tonight. Oh, sure if you want. Yeah, I was being dramatic for the cameras, but go for it if you want.
No, you and by proxy, Stephen kind of have a point. Because we've only got this guy and the 2 fries. No, I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
That is another 1.
Right. I'm lost on what you're doing here, by the way. What's the intention?
Was a re-roll on my riposte.
Right, okay. So
now
you've done a perfect hit.
Yes.
Right, okay. Roll your damage.
18.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Well, that's gonna go real hard on his 1 toughness. I see this as a kind of like you're desperate to get away and you attack him with like a flurry of strikes, which he like defends against, and you really go kind of full. We're talking full Princess Bride, like back and forth, both of you like just moving in a line between each other. Before like seeing an opportunity, you whip the sword to one side, literally impale him through the back of his throat, through his open mouth, whip your blade out in a flick of blood. And do you still have your movement action left because you didn't disengage? I don't know how that works quite.
But this is the Black Cloak's turn, so no.
Oh yeah, it is. Shit. Well then, the Black Templar is not going anymore. I have made a decision about something, and that decision will kick in, unfortunately, at the end of the round. As I think in my head that's fair, and you'll understand if and when we get there. Elindra. It's another death roll.
Okie dokie. There we go. That's a 4, so that's no effect.
No effect. You're holding on. Perhaps you're trying to staunch the bleeding with one of your hands kind of fumbling under the breastplate.
Yeah, I think, vaguely attempting to like self-administer first aid, but mostly just kind of gurgling.
Steo.
Oh, they've just cut down my second favorite member of the party, Anton.
They have.
So,
however, I am happy. I applied the rule that when engaged, like someone who's downed is available to be attended to, and Baron engaged the Twilight Friars. So if you want, you can attend to Anton before he has to make a death roll, or you can attend to Elindra. I will give you for free that the play, if you want to attend to someone, is to attend to Anton.
Yeah. Steo is not a trained combat medic.
You've got Medicus.
Yes,
That's
but
literally what you are.
No. I bought Medicus after I had taken on this new life as a sellsword.
Okay, what? It's literally
Um,
there's no role playing to this. It's like it's not like you suddenly can't attend to someone because there's someone fighting over there.
No, but it's not a matter of can I or can't I do it. It's a matter of is it the priority for Steo right now?
If you definitely don't want Anton to die, then yes, I would argue. But it's your character.
Mike will be so angry at me if I let Anton die, won't he?
He won't be angry at you, but he might question why you didn't want to save him with a relatively straightforward 13 or less roll. Because I think your cunning is 13. Is it? I don't know what it is. Maybe that's his.
It's 11 actually, so it's a 10.
11.
It's 50-50. Yeah, okay. I'll save the useless priest.
Oh, you're just gonna let me die, are you, Chris? Fine.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, okay. I'll have a go at attempting to get across to Anton and I don't know, literally shove a herbal cure into the nearest gaping wound he has.
Into the open wounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help. So we'll go ahead and make your roll.
Oh, it's a success.
There we go. And did you use a herbal cure?
I did indeed. I did say I was going to.
Mm-hmm. So how many points of toughness does he get back?
That is 1d8, which I'll roll for him now. 3.
Okay. Feel free to add those points. Consider Anton stabilized. And this is the point where you all hear a hue and cry from outside the ruin. You hear the shouts of people shouting to move back. And all of a sudden, several of the ducal troops come dashing through the entranceways into the ruin, led up front by Revelia, who, as she dashes in, hefts a spear long arm over her shoulder, and it rams right into one of the remaining Twilight Friars. There is a general shout from the troops, and they pile onto the two remaining foes. And very soon, I'm perfectly happy to say that Ilindra is attended to. I'm not going to make rolls because all you could do, you can just give a herbal cure if you want. That's actually a good point. You don't need to make a roll. If you just give someone a herbal cure, they
it's 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage. But anyway, you did it, so it's fine. Someone is attending to I'm going to say one of the actual troops is attending to Ilindra while you're trying to get Anton to recover. And in the still moments after the last Twilight Friars cut down, because the troops are taking no prisoners. They just cut them down. Revelia had already killed. In fact, Revelia killed one with a spear through the chest. Farron had his way with the other one. And in the momentary stillness, as the troops look around, as Revelia glances down at Ilindra and gives out a cry of dismay, you all hear a voice emerging from somewhere down that hole in the center of the chamber. A somewhat trembling voice, cautiously calling, "Hello, who is there?" And I think after that session, folks, I am more than happy to leave that as our cliffhanger, because bloody hell. There we go. Okay. As per usual, comments, questions in the chat, load them up in there, and we'll address them after the normal nonsense promo. Check below for links to all of our sites that we stream on, social media, Discord, merch store, Patreon, all that glorious stuff. We run numerous campaigns per week. Mondays is currently alternating between We Deal in Lead and Warhammer, but very soon, towards the end of the month, we are kicking off a new long-form campaign, Call of Cthulhu, run by Johnny. You know him, you love him, he's good at the Cthulhu stuff. and he's going to be taking on Masks of Nyarlathotep. Good Lord. So look forward and enjoy that. Wednesdays is Symbaroum, of course, and Thursdays is fortnightly Yellow King, another cosmic horror long form campaign. The third episode is going to be tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. Why not check it out? We also run one shots on a regular basis, the next one of which is on Saturday, the 20th of July, where we will once again playing the excellent Cyborg from Stockholm Cartel / Free League. It's nightmarish future dystopian horror. So basically just everyday life. So yeah, okay. I complained a lot in that stream. And it was partly honesty and partly exacerbating my own frustrations for comic effect. But for one reason or another, and I'm really interested what the players think, because they took obviously the brunt of it towards the end of it, I felt that was a combat that really highlighted the weaknesses of Symbaroum combat system. What are your thoughts on that?
I had fun, and I think whatever the weaknesses were, they were patched over by your we often gloss over this, but your incredible blow-by-blow combat narrations made sense of sometimes very muddy dice situations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really interested. Yeah, you got. I was going to ask you, Stephen. So
okay, so I think what happens in Symbaroum as the power levels go up is, you know, you do more damage, you get more defense, you get some special attack, you get some counter attack to the thing, and it all kind of, like, in terms of like what's on the character sheets and what's in the stat blocks, it's kind of like a Cold War, right? And then it means that the dice rolls become swingier and higher consequence at higher levels. So like this, I've seen this for a while. Like, we've had a few combats where like we've done pretty well, but I'm like, one dice roll difference.
Yeah.
And it would have been very different. And I think we saw that one with this one.
Yeah.
Some real big swings.
Yeah. And like, funnily enough, I wouldn't necessarily say that's like, yeah, when I was referring to the floor, I didn't necessarily mean that. I think that's actually kind of working as intended. And I think just tonight, towards the end, it was less with you. The luck was less with you guys than it was otherwise. Mine is more like, when you have all these interlocking crowd control and cancel X thing and cancel the cancellation of X thing, and like it all jumbles together, and it becomes a bit of a head fuck, I think. And
yeah, there was a lot of interplay of different things going on there, and I think it was more rule booky than we've done for a while.
And that was the problem, basically. I think like there were several things there where I wasn't on the button, and that meant we had to backtrack or go blah 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 blah. But you know, I like to think we get better and we learn as we move forward. It's not like we've been playing this for 3 years or anything.
I think there's also, I mean, we kind of had a bit of it with Stephen trying to play Askrai at the beginning and going, oh god, there's so many mechanics, what do they all mean? But the difference is, other than those circumstances, we know our character sheets because we've been playing them for several years, whereas you essentially have 3 new characters every time we do combat.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe how wrong I was about free actions, and I wonder how much that's affected the game. But now I know, now I know.
I can't think of it. I can't think of them doing stuff not on their turn, other than the last time we fought the Friars.
Yeah, I can't think of any other examples other than, like, I don't know, like talking or kind of shouting in combat. There's like I can't think of any abilities that are implemented as free actions.
Yeah, so maybe it hasn't affected it much. Fair enough. Cool. Let's have comments and chats, please, John.
I didn't star it, but Steve just put this one in chat, and I do kind of love it.
Steve, not that I played the game, but I do think Symbaroum's combat is like someone's throwing a breeze block into a washing machine on spin cycle. It definitely can be. It's just like, just 50-50. Is the breeze block going to destroy the washing machine, or is it going to crash out the front of it and knock your head off? Let's roll and find out.
Yeah, with just a lot of noise and movement and clanging before we find out.
Yeah, like for all my complaints about it, I do broadly like the Symbaroum combat system. I just think, like you say, once it gets to a certain level of interlocking cogs, it depending on the cogs, it can become clunky is not the right word, but complex. Crunchy. It's crunchy. Which is surprising because like when you don't have all those interlocking cogs, it's not very crunchy at all. In fact, I would say when it doesn't have those interlocking cogs, it's a bit too close to something like D&D, a combat system which I notoriously do not like. Which is just like roll, that's my turn sort of thing, which I'm not a fan of. So I'm kind of complaining about it both ways here, really, which I've done multiple times tonight, but that's my privilege. Because honestly, and I'll be brutally honest, on any week where I'm also running Yellow King, at any one time, my mind is 50% made up of 1895 Paris. So, make that what you make of that what you will. Next. Stephen, more rent swords, really. Sell swords should be a word for blacksmith.
There's a sort of permanence to sell sword, isn't there?
I suppose so, yeah.
I'm not sure how accurate it is to call us sell swords, even accepting the meaning of the word. Like, I mean, I suppose we're in Ravenna because we're being paid to be there.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we're sort of freelance treasure hunters.
It's true. When you were working, like the group originally did more work for the agency, and that was sales. Technically speaking, you are sell swords for Saber.
Yeah, right now we're sell swords.
Yeah, and the reason we ended up in Corvosti is because we sell swords for Ganderald.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
And the Queen really wanted us to be sell swords for her.
But point
she pays crap.
But a lot of the other words that might be appropriate felt a bit corny for this tone of fantasy, like adventurers or whatever, So I usually go with sell swords, but no, that's fair. It's fair.
It's all right.
I think if like a person in the world asked our group to describe what we are, I guess we'd say treasure hunters.
Yeah, fortune hunters.
Fortune hunters, treasure hunters.
Aaron would definitely say adventurer.
Yeah, fortune hunters tends to be the term that's used in like Cambria. They're swell swords. That sounds like an Ambrian porn star. So Don't Kick Food also said I'm not ashamed of that. Don't Kick Food also said poor cat, which I'm assuming is my cat who had to leave partway through. Yeah,
I think both the cats tonight had a pretty rum time of it.
they did, although at least one got to get some savaging in. The other one just had a big poo. Steve, cats can do anything they want, whenever they want, and there's very little you can do about it. It is true. Except when you employ the service of a complex machine like a door. Then some adjustments can be made to their behavior. Next. Dungeoneering feels like the crowd control power shouldn't work if they're attacking the target. No, kind of weird not to be able to attack someone who is attacking you. Yeah, I get what you mean, because then you have to just be like, okay, and they like, I guess like the idea is you're cowed, so you're like only trying to defend yourself. You're not trying to, but it's a tricky one. You could see it with some enemies make a lot more sense, like a big monster or something that's like incredibly like you're terrified, and you could like imagine that a bit more. But with these guys, I remember reading it in the book when I first got it, and going, this is an amazing thing for a character to have, and also really annoying for anyone having to deal with it, whether they're a character or a GM.
Yeah.
But there we go. But it's not annoying enough that I've snipped it out. Unlike, the changing shape one wasn't annoying. It was just stupid and didn't fit with the setting. Yeah. So
I think with these guys, it's more like, behold my majestic power than it is like you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Yeah.
It's not that.
Oh, I'm just a little glasses. I'm just a little glasses, Twilight Friar. Oh,
I
Yeah.
think of it kind of as like Galadriel in Fellowship,
right, sure. Yeah.
when she goes all spooky and
Yeah,
starts
but it's
shouting.
explicitly not a mystical power.
Yeah.
So it's a bit,
Well,
yeah,
It wasn't really her using a mystical power. That was just it's hard.
What
It's
if
hard
it's-
spells, isn't it?
she was
what if it's-
evoking her glamour,
Mm.
is how I read it.
What if for these guys they're just really convincing it? What's that behind you?
Yeah. You can you can write it off any number of ways, really, can't you? But like, it's a tricksy one. Especially if it's used repeatedly, it becomes a bit like, oh, well, what do I have to say for it this time? You know what I mean? But it's fine. It's fine. We're not going to encounter thousands of them, so we'll cross those bridges when we come to them.
Not for a few sessions.
Not for a few sessions. Don't give it. The Black Cloak's Daughter is my favorite Oz Perkins film. I mean, I'm assuming that was just a reference to Black Cloaks. It's probably also mine. I don't know what other films Oz Perkins has made, but I really like Black Cloak's Daughter, and I'm the only person I know who's seen Black Cloak's Daughter.
I think you'll find that all the films that Oz Perkins has made are Oz Perkins films.
Sure, but I don't know what they are.
No, me
I
neither.
don't know the identities of them. So I may have seen 1,000. I don't know, but probably not. But I also like it.
I really liked him in Quigley.
Quigley Down Under. Is this,
No,
I don't.
He was
Oh, Quigley. Oh,
yes,
okay.
the horrible
That's a very
early
obscure-
2000s film where
fucking-
Gary Busey gets reincarnated as a Pomeranian.
This is a very obscure Red Letter Media reference, unless somehow John has actually seen Quigley. Okay.
Anyway, Oz Perkins, famed horror director, plays Gary Busey, Pomeranian guardian angel. He's not a Pomeranian.
Oh,
Gary
okay.
Busey is the Pomeranian. Oz Perkins is the angel.
Is this? Am I dreaming?
Yeah,
It's a real film.
Is this a hallucination? And are we? I think either way, we're done with the comments. Stephen, remember when Matt was all grumpy because he couldn't stat enemies enough to be a challenge for the party? Yeah. Look, it's my destiny, and I've accepted this, that I am in all ways a hypocrite, casually, professionally, everything. And yeah, I had to immediately and constantly backpedal through that entire session because I was like, I can't hurt you. Went to, oh, they might be all about to die. Yeah.
I'm happy that I was able to make you eat your words by virtue of nearly dying.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Gathering round a group of friends and relentlessly trying to make Matt eat shit. That's what this is all about.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, I'm sad that Mike missed it, honestly.
What had been happening the previous rounds where this like Black
Well,
Templar?
you were
we
just
just
killing
rolled,
things
Yeah,
immediately.
we just rolled better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the Templar couldn't hit Elindra. Elindra just
Okay.
kept defending, and you were just one-shotting things. And then you arrived, Sam. Oh, man.
I was
Is
about
Sam
omen.
the new Mike?
Yeah, those one shots at the start of the fight, they were Ascarai, but they weren't Sam.
Yeah. Someone's got to take the mantle of Mike while he's away.
Maybe Ascarai is like even more overpowered than it seems, and I'm just rolling badly to like balance him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and
But, I
Mike
mean,
need
it
to
does feel
swap
like-
character sheets.
I mean,
Shifted
with
the
bad
cage.
rolls,
The curse has shifted.
it could be that it was the Black Templar one-shotting us and Ascarai missing everybody. Like,
Yeah.
matter of
I'm sure
rolling.
we've had this before on sessions when Mike's not around. Like it's not that we're all free of the curse of Mike. Like on average, I think we roll about as badly.
Yeah, it's just
It's
when
just that
he's here, he kind of
it's
takes
concentrated. Yeah,
So actually, that
Magma.
might be he's like taking the curse from everyone else and like
Yeah, yeah.
embodying it in himself. He's
Valuable.
taking on like the sins of everyone around him and like suffering for them to free you all of sin. He's He's like
just be careful.
If only there was some figure to compare.
if only there was some
something
historical / theological figure.
Yeah.
To,
sad that there's not.
I can't think of anything.
Prios doesn't have any kind of representation on Earth sort of story, does he?
Maybe
He
he
does
does now.
I'm just saying, we don't know anything about Mike's parents. We don't know he wasn't immaculately conceived. Not Mike, Anton.
I was going to say, I've known Mike for a while. I can confirm he has parents.
I meant Anton. We don't know about Anton.
Sure. No,
He's a
it's
player
true.
character in a TTRPG. Of course, his parents are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next comment. Don't give it saved by the intern. Yeah. Revelia to the rescue.
Bless her.
Yeah.
Expecting into more spear throwing for Aurelia.
It's not even her spear.
No.
Yeah. Also, spear throwing seems to be a missing mechanic. I'm kind of a little sad about.
I kind of think there maybe is a spear throwing ability in like one of the supplements. I could be wrong.
Yes.
There's general throwing of weapons ability that maybe bounce spears.
It definitely, you can definitely use throwing spears with it. Sam, well, we've saved another sinkhole, and the sinkhole sounded very, very, if
Yeah,
that
but
voice is the hole itself, then
Those sinkholes aren't going to save themselves, are they?
we're on brand. We're really on brand.
we're really on brand. We got anything next? 42. If Beast Law applies, that suggests the shot was deliberate.
Conspiracy. It was an inside job.
All the fan theories can start here.
The 20 doesn't represent his arm slipping. The 20 represents Ascarai just for a moment going, but what if?
It is interesting, isn't it? I do think that, like, here's how I'm judging it going forwards. If you're making 2 rolls to hit in that kind of roll, and you roll a 20, and then you roll a success, you hit right. I'm going to say if all you have is failure, and at least one of those failures is a 20, then I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and so mechanically how it went down, like you can imagine how an arrow would get misfired, and we all know how devastating Ascarai's arrows can be. So
Exactly, and like ultimately when it came to it, I mean, now it hurt you, but like it was the old two-handed force hit for 17 damage. Like, and let me tell you, she hits harder if you're corrupt or undead. So
nice.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think Ascarai's arrow was necessary.
No, if you're curious, the things totting up there were, I think her base damage is 11, and then it was Beast Law against cultural beings for her as well, and Witch Hammer adding together that led you to 17. So
is Witch Hammer the
Witch
less
Hammer's
version of
it's the theurgy, whatever it's called. Yeah,
cool.
The what's it? Is it called?
Revenant Strike.
Yeah. So there we go.
Oh man, I didn't even realize there was a theurgy version of those. Like, no wonder they're upset.
Yeah. Wrong color fire.
Yeah.
Means you're evil. It's like a red lightsaber.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. Thanks so much, folks. Thanks to my wonderful players, especially for putting up with my very errant behavior. Errant, inconsistent, everything. I'm just sorry to everyone. It'll be better next week. This is not Yellow King. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, stay safe, and we will see you next week for a session that isn't all combat. Goodbye.